A new study suggests that the giant prehistoric shark known as Megalodon, which is definitely extinct now today, was probably a little bit thinner than previously thought. Welcome back to Paleopedia, and the Megalodon was a massive prehistoric predatory shark that lived during the Miocene period between 23 and about 3.5 million years ago. Likely at the top of its food chain, Megalodon measured up to potentially around 65 feet in length and likely fed on small baleen whales, which were really common at the time. Based on similarities between its large serrated teeth and jaws, it's been generally assumed that Megalodon likely looked a lot like modern great white sharks, being really stocky, round, built for power when it hunts. However, new research suggests that Megalodon might not have been as stocky as previously thought. It might have actually been a little bit more shaped like Mako sharks rather than white sharks. Led by Stearns and DePaul University paleobiology professor Kenshu Shimada, this team of 26 scientists got this hypothesis after looking at two previous studies of Megalodon sizes, where each study proposed a different length for the species. These two previous studies were looking at an incomplete set of vertebrae of Megalodon, which is incredibly rare. Shark bones are made of cartilage, so they're really soft and don't fossilize really well. So for the most part, most shark fossils are just of the jaws and the teeth. So a vertebral column of Megalodon is incredibly important, even though it is incomplete. And both of these two studies that inspired this new one were looking at the same specimen with this incomplete vertebral column. And one study put that specimen's length at about 36 feet in length, and the other one put it at about 30 feet in length. This new study is basically suggesting that because we pretty much always compare Megalodon to modern great whites, that we're kind of giving a confirmation bias to the estimated size and body shape of Megalodon itself. By looking at the same fossil evidence of Megalodon that we do have, just like the previous studies did, but also comparing it to not just great whites, but other lamniform sharks as well, the team determined that Megalodon was likely a little bit longer and more slender than previously thought, looking a little bit more like Mako sharks rather than white sharks. It's important to note that this doesn't change the fact that Megalodon was probably a top predator in its ecosystem, likely feeding on 15 to 20 foot whales. It just might have behaved slightly differently than previously thought. Specifically, it suggests that if Megalodon was a little bit longer and slender than previously estimated, that it likely didn't have to hunt nearly as much as it might have if it was built more like a great white shark today. Having a longer body means that it had a longer digestive system as well, which means that it was able to absorb nutrients for longer and necessarily didn't need to hunt as much as it might have if it was shorter and bulkier. This new proposed body design for Megalodon also opens the doors to more information surrounding its extinction. There are a couple different proposed causes to Megalodon going extinct. The first one being climate change, as North and South America started to reconnect after hundreds of millions of years, being separate from each other, changing ocean currents and disrupting the climate, as well as Megalodon's prey, baleen whales, becoming more scarce as the diversity of whales started to decline at around the same time as Megalodon's extinction, and the surviving baleen whales becoming more migratory and larger in size. Alongside a changing climate and decreasing food stocks, the appearance of more modern predators like the orca genus and great white shark genus might have caused more competition for Megalodon. Specifically, the appearance of the white shark lineages becoming more macro-predatory likely led to competition between them and Megalodon, and with the smaller white sharks being more agile and able to feed themselves and sustain themselves on smaller prey, it would have made it a little bit more difficult for Megalodon to continue to survive with the challenges it was already facing. This is, however, a new angle of study for Megalodon, if it was in fact more of a Mako shark design rather than a great white shark design. And there's still a lot more research that needs to be done to confirm or counter this proposed study, but it will be really cool to see what we learn with this new potential information.